Okay, so I'm going to try out blogging. I've been writing a blog for a while on some video games, new video games coming out, reviews on video games, gameplay footage, and one of my friends actually asked me to consider vlogging. So the first things first, I need to find a decent camera. I'm taking this on an iPhone 6. So I need to find a decent action camera. We've got one at work that we bought, real cheap, Chinese, about 80 bucks. It's totes 1080p at 30 frames a second. The image is very grainy. Don't know that I want to spend $500 on a GoPro Hero 5 though. That's jumping in the deep end. I'd rather spend maybe $100, somewhere around $100. Don't really want to get over $200. Got a couple that I'm looking at. The SJ Cam SJ6 Legend. It's about $150. It's 1080p at 60 frames a second. Has the waterproof case, all that stuff. All the accessories come with it, unlike the GoPro. There's a couple other ones that are a little cheaper than that, but so I'm gonna start looking into that. Probably gonna be doing some vlogging on. Probably still gonna be video games. Also going to do gun reviews, maybe. Look into some guns. Just do some gun talk. Got a buddy of mine in Wisconsin talking about dual vlogging for moto vlogging. We both got bikes now and have been riding, so we're considering doing that. Kind of a dual blog thing. Bring in footage from Wisconsin and here in southern Indiana where I live. So I guess we'll see how it goes. Stay tuned. It's raining. It's Oaks Day here in southern Indiana / Louisville, Kentucky. I don't know where anybody viewing this is from, but it gets crazy around here for Derby. Everybody's so excited to watch horses run in circles. So excited. But luckily that traffic is on the other side of town from me. But I kind of feel sorry for them because it is raining constantly. And it's not even Derby. I'm not even sure what the weather's supposed to be like tomorrow. But right now it's like 48 and raining. It's miserable. And the horses are racing in the mud. Working on a project at the house. Gonna be pulling up the carpet, redoing the wood floor that we found underneath. Never done it before, so I'm perfect for the job. How hard can it be? That's usually how I say just before messing up a major project. But I'm gonna do it. Probably gonna work on cleaning out the rooms tonight. Tomorrow morning, tackle ripping up all the carpet. Maybe get some plastic hung to protect the vents and everything from the sawdust. I'm gonna rent a sander from Home Depot. Sand the floors with it. And then I gotta find some stain. Last time I went to Lowe's trying to find some tung oil, the guy looked at me like, "What are you doing? Nobody hand finishes anymore." Really? But we'll see what happens. So starting out on the motorcycle topic, I've got a 2015 Honda CBR 500R. I love it. I bought it in about October of last year. It's now May 5th, and I've put 3,200 and some odd miles on it. absolutely love riding it. Done a few modifications to it. I put foam grips on the over top of the existing grips. It makes it softer, obviously, but it also increases the diameter, and has really helped with death grip when I'm on the bike for hours. I also bought a gel seat cushion. Wasn't designed for that, so if you're trying to look at gel cushions for a CBR 500R right now, I didn't find one specifically for that model. In fact, the one I ended up buying off Amazon was actually for ATVs, but it works. In fact, it's so long it covers the rider's seat and the passenger seat, so that was kind of nice. Also did short adjustable levers, and I tinted my windscreen, and I did that using Plastidip on the inside. Sounds weird, but it's a great effect. I'll try to shoot some video of that and add this later on. So, with the bike, I've had 2 bolts now fall out. The second bolt I just noticed the other day has fallen out of the bike while I'm riding. I haven't dropped the bike, I haven't wrecked the bike, but one of the bearing bolts on the top, it's popped out, it was gone. Bolt and the washer, gone. Went to our local motorcycle shop, and they didn't even have the right style bolt. They had the right thread pitch, but the head was a slightly different design, and the washers weren't black, they were zinc or chrome. I don't think they're chrome, I think they're zinc for what this bike is, but got a new one from them. And now I was riding home just the other day and noticed that one of the bolts on the side fairing has come out. I don't get it. So I guess I'm gonna have to make a trip to the store again and find another bolt. Did a quick Google search at work today looking for just a whole bolt kit, just to have spare of everything. I don't see spending the $25 to $50 on these bolts, and they're all off eBay, and the descriptions on the bolt kit is kind of like, well, it might fit your bike, but it might not fit your bike. They're weird anodized colors that it's just like, my bike is gray. I'll throw up the image. It's gray and black, so I want everything blacked out. I don't want gold anodized bolts and goofiness all over the bike. So I guess I'll just buck up, and I don't know how much it's going to cost. $5 for a bolt? There's no telling. They can charge you anything you want, because where are you going to go? You know, I could try to go to like a Fastenal and get a bolt, but with the fancy head design, how many am I going to have to buy? They're not going to let me pick up one, you know. I'll be in there's 200 bolts later. I'll never need a bolt for that bike ever again. And after I buy 200, I'll never need one again. So, I guess we'll see. Okay, so I just called the local bike shop, find out when their parts department closed. They closed at 6 o'clock, so it's about 3:50. I'm real close to the house. Their shop's not that far away, so I'll probably hop in the garage here, pull that bolt out just so I've got something to compare to, and run over there and see what the damage is going to be. Okay, so now I'm in the garage. It's messy. I get ADD when it comes to projects. I'll work on one, charge through it, get about 90-95% of the way done, and then just squirrel my way to the next project and do the same thing. So I've got 2-3 different wood projects going on. It happens. I've got a wood lathe project I haven't even hardly begun. So here's my bike. So here's the bike. Sorry for how dark it is. It's raining outside, like I mentioned earlier, and I really don't want to push it out in the rain. Here is the seat cushion I talked about. See, it's really long. Comes back over, but it really does the job. It's jelly, kind of like the wrist pad on a mouse pad. Added my tank protector. This matches the sticker on the back of my helmet, which I'll show you here in a minute. Of course, I put a RAM mat on there to hold one of my 2 phones. I've got a work phone. Levers, Amazon, $11. This is where I Plastadipped it. I think it looked really good. I'll have to show you out in the daylight. It's just so dark in here. Flush mount turn signals. And then added the exhaust. And again, once I'm not going to get it all smoky in here, I'm getting ready to work. But this bolt here is the bolt that's missing on the other side. So I'm going to take it off, run it over to the shop, and see what I can do about a replacement. So I mentioned that my tank decal matches the back of my helmet. That's because of this. So I said I would show it earlier, so now I'll show it. I'll talk more about my helmet later. Got a 3-inch red Mohawk. It's a HJC helmet. It's done really well for me. Again, I'll talk about it later when I talk about the rest of the bike. You know, here's one of my projects I did. Just something down and dirty. I kept having to move the helmet around every time I worked in the garage. Now I just whoop, slide it on. It's out of the way. So, I just left CC Power Sports. I got my bolt. It is not the same. It's about 2 threads short. The head's slightly smaller. And it's got a Phillips head instead of an Allen key. Brilliant. They are a Honda dealer as well as a Kawasaki dealer as well as a Yamaha dealer and an Indian dealer. But anyway, they are a certified Honda dealer, and they don't have the replacement bolts on a 2-year-old bike. Lame. So, whatever. I bought it, $1.18 for one bolt. But like I said, it's that or find something close through Fastenal, McMaster-Carr, MSC, something like that, and end up spending $10, $15 on 100 of them when I need one. So I went ahead and bought it. I'm gonna go back, put it on, and be good to go. Might end up putting Loctite on them. Blue semi-permanent Loctite. Like I said earlier, this is the second bolt I've lost. Just riding. So before I lose one that's holding something major to the bike, I think I'll just go through and Loctite them all. So earlier I mentioned that I started off by blogging. My blog is about video games primarily, some tech. I think the only tech I've done to date has been the Google Pixel. That's it. Everything else is video games, and it has to do with, you know, my opinion of a game, games that I've played. I've gotten to play betas and alphas, so I kind of give my feedback through my blog. I'll put a link in the description below where you can find my blog. It's called The Sweeney Todd's Rant. The Sweeney Todd is my gamer tag, so that's why it's the Sweeney Todd. And rant because I tend to go off on tangents when I get to talking about a game. You know, I start out with the best intentions. I'm just going to give information about the new Call of Duty game that's coming out, and the next thing you know, I'm ranting about how it's a regurgitation of the same game since Call of Duty Black Ops. We are going to ride this horse into the ground. And no, I'm not trying to be punny because it's Derby. But I'll put a link in the description below. You can subscribe to that. You can click a button and every time I post a blog, it goes right to your email. So feel free to put that in some junk emails that you use to sign up for all your other gimmicks. I still get subscriptions. Next time it stops raining, sun's out, it's nice and warm, I'll probably bust the high-tech video phone out and give you all a review of my bike and the accessories that I have. This is my first bike, and all the accessories that I bought for it are the only version of those accessories that I've ever bought. So I'm not going to be really comparing it to anything else other than itself. So I'll tell you what it does for me. You can compare it to whatever you use of equivalent, like the gloves that I use to ride in. Not gonna lie, Harbor Freight, I'm not spending $50, $60 on some Icon gloves just because they have some hard knuckles. If I go down in a wreck, the least of my concern is there skin still on my knuckles? It's gonna be, hey, my leg is twisted up in the wrong direction, and hey, that's my head over there. I guess it would be my body because my eyes are in my head. Little known fact. So, I'm just saying. Harbor Freight gloves. I'll show them later. Probably do them at the same time as I do the bike. So if you've liked what you've seen so far, or if you're just a glutton for punishment, stay tuned, more videos to come.